I lived at home with my mom and my dad, and it was not a great atmosphere. My dad was heavily into drugs and alcohol and dealing and sort of a gangster lifestyle. And there was actually a fair bit of violence in the house. When I was young, my dad, would beat up on my mom quite a bit. I remember him being physical and some of those scraps, and I'd just get asked to leave and hide away in the room and kind of peek out wondering what was going on. It's a scary thing, Home is supposed to be a safe place, and when you're a child, you expect your parents to be there, and they're supposed to raise you and protect you and all those things, and that was somewhat present with my mom, but she lived in so much fear that a lot of her attention wasn't focused on protecting me, it was focused on protecting herself. So you grow up pretty scattered, pretty scared, a lot of dread, quite frankly, nightmares. I believe I was 5 years old when my mom finally decided that she had to leave in order to save both her and our lives. So we moved out, and my mom started to raise us as a single parent from that point on. I wasn't sure if I wanted to carry on with life. There was a time in grade 7 when I hung from the Lorne Bridge, wanting to let go. I didn't, and I'm pretty sure I was just seeking attention, but I still was on the cusp of letting go and letting be what would be. Kind of went full headlong in grade 10, took all kinds of pills, tried all kinds of psychedelics, marijuana. Once in a while there was some cocaine in there. There were some times when I drugged myself up enough that Nicole wasn't sure I would survive that night when we were in high school. A couple times I stopped breathing and would come to finally. At age 17, I found out that I was going to be a dad. I kind of let a couple buddies know, and they were stunned and, were telling me to run for the hills. And as I say, I don't know what it was in me. Perhaps it was the fact that I didn't have anybody around as a good father growing up. I didn't want to be like that. So there was something in me that said, I'm not going to run away. I'm going to, support her and go ahead and move forward with this. Caitlin was born when we were 18. I continued to struggle with both alcohol and doing drugs. I'd do it behind Nikki's back. I'd hide it where I could, and she didn't really know what to look for, so it wasn't too hard to hide from her. So it wasn't long before we split up, and Nikki had moved out and found her own place, and we figured that we were just another statistic, and that was going to be our life. My mom had phoned me, and she was really bothering me. I was trying to watch a movie, and she's going on and on the phone, and I'm really just I'm not even really paying attention. She's just talking through the phone, and it was just all noise to me. I was trying to watch a movie. But then she knew she wasn't getting through to me, so she'd pass the phone off to her best friend, who was like a second mom to me. I said to her, it's funny because, I don't want to just be a statistic. I'd like to be successful, but, that's not going to happen. Nikki and I are already done. That's already finished, and we're moving on. And I remember her just saying to me, it doesn't have to be finished. There is something you can do. And I remember making a snide remark about, okay, here comes the preaching. And she'd said, no, it's simply this, just let me pray for you. And I said, oh, okay, fine, if you want to pray for me, do that. I remember thinking, if there's anything real or true about this at all, God, then fine, help me. And I remember just uttering those 2 words, just help me, amidst my thoughts. And immediately after I'd said, help me, there was a knock at the door. I went to the door and opened the door, and Nikki was standing there with Caitlin, and she said, I'm just homesick. Can I just come in? And so she came in, and she just started weeping and had Caitlin there, and she was crying, and she kind of reached out and embraced me, and I was taken for a whirl. I didn't know what was happening. But then I got thinking about the fact that I had said, help me. And immediately I knew in my heart and mind, which is so bizarre to me still this day, I knew that God had intervened. Something supernatural happened. And it's amazing. That was the moment that both Nikki and I said, wow, that God is a real thing. And from that moment on, we've never disbelieved. As soon as that occurrence happened, I instantly was healed 100% of any desire to do any drugs again, which I can't explain other than His Spirit just made me realize that I had instantly found my worth and didn't need anything else to cover my worthless feelings. It was cool. It was such a man, I don't know such a tangible, Spirit-filled moment. I can't explain it to anybody if you haven't experienced it. But He was there, and He made it happen and corrected years and years of torment instantly.